physical circumstance. So actually, our expectations as women, our expectations as women realistic when you look at the facts behind the data?
She'd be with someone else, wouldn't she?
Yeah, I would have been
missing out on this.
long gone. I've been missing out all of this. Hey Deku fam!
Hey Deku fam!
Welcome back to our channel.
Welcome back.
We're back with another video, and we're finishing off our finance series with a very serious question. A question that's so prevalent in our society right now. Does a man need to earn more than a woman in order for the relationship to work?
Yeah, a lot of things have progressed in our world, but when it comes to finances, there seems to be some traditional views in this area, especially in the area of dating.
Yeah.
When people are going on dates, you have women saying, my man needs to be earning more than me before we enter into a relationship. And men are also feeling the pressure of being financially astute before they actually pursue a romantic relationship. People are prioritizing finances over romantic relationship.
Yeah.
And is that the right thing to be doing?
We want to discuss that in this video. We wanted to call out some considerations that we don't think people are talking about or thinking about when it comes to money and relationships, which may help people get into the right type of relationships moving forward. So let's get into the video and let's talk about it. Okay, so the first thing that we need to consider when discussing this topic is the data. Not social media, not our experiences, but the actual raw data and facts around what society looks like. And in the UK, if you're earning above 80k, you're in the 5% of the population. So
the thing is, the higher the salary of the person that you desire, the less of the chances that you have, because actually the pool is smaller.
Yeah.
So if you want someone at 80k, that's 5% of a chance of entering that population. If you want 100k, it will be less. If you want more than that, it will be even less. So when you're only considering finances, you limit your chances. And especially also for men, if men want to actually be in a financial position in order to romantic relationship, obviously it will take a lot longer to go into 80, 90, 100, etc., before they start pursuing romantic relationships. Yeah,
because the data even tells you that men get to their peak in terms of how much they earn when they get to their 40s, 50s. So actually, if you're in your 20s or 30s and you're one, looking for a guy who's earning above 80k, and two, looking for a guy in the same age range as you, you're really going to struggle because the pool of candidates is actually not there. So actually, our expectations as women, our expectations as women realistic when you look at the facts behind the data and how much people are earning.
And also as men, when we feel like we need to be in a financial position to be able to pursue a romantic relationship, do we necessarily need to be earning 60, 80, 100k in order to pursue a relationship? Or can we just present ourselves and say, this is who I am, this is what I'm doing, this is my plan, this is my vision, these are my goals, this is the direction I'm going on. Sell a vision. You can sell a vision.
That's what my guy did, because when we met, was he earning a penny? Not one. Obviously, we were at university, the life stage is very different. All of that type of stuff. But there were uni students who were earning and were driving the Beamers.
Yeah, I was not doing drugs. I was not doing fraud.
He wasn't even working. He didn't even have a job. Like, there was nothing to look at in his physical circumstance that made me think that.
Even when we graduate university, because university is one thing, and no one has money at university.
There were people with money.
They were doing fraud. But at the end of the day, like, when we graduated university, Anna also secured her grad job before I did. I had to wait 2 months. She was humble enough to still go with an unemployed guy. And I secured my job 2 months later.
The potential, like, I really felt like you had the mindset, the vision, the everything else that showed me that one day he's going to be rich and I want to be, you know, next to that rich guy. So sometimes we need to think about it from that perspective. But on a serious note, that the data is saying that the pool of candidates available, I'm using candidates as though it's like some kind of CV thing, but yeah, the pool of men that actually earn how much we maybe expect them to earn is very low. So actually, do you want to restrict yourself just because of a financial reason?
And let's also be honest, like, you kind of, if you want a certain salary, so say like 100k, you actually get rid of whole sectors. So for example, teachers, they work very hard, but the earning potential for teachers to be earning like 100k, 80k is quite slim in the UK, I believe. And also maybe like public sector, charity job, you're actually getting rid of sectors. And these are industries where they're actually good and suitable candidates.
Yeah, intelligent people who are like doing more for society than some other industries, all of that type of stuff. But to say, oh, I'm writing you off because you're not earning more than me, we think is a very, strong,
Yeah, I think it's quite
strong
shallow.
stance. Another thing for us to consider when looking solely at salary as a reason to date or not date someone is that the journey is so much more significant than the destination.
As I mentioned, I was unemployed for 2 months after graduating, and Anna secured her dream job. And then when I entered my job, we then had conversations on what kind of direction that we want to be going on, what's our vision, what's our goal, and we actually tried to build wealth together.
Yeah.
And we went through our ups, we went through our downs, but what was most important was that the journey was actually what forged us together.
Yeah.
Anna was basically saying my guy had to have a job or have X, Y, and Z salary, then we'll be waiting a long time to be able to enter into a relationship. In fact, she'd be with someone else, wouldn't she?
Yeah, I would
She'd
be
missing out on this.
Long gone. I've been missing out on all of this. But yeah, no, it's really important because I think for us, the journey has been so significant and we're nowhere near where we want to be yet. So already, having been together for 10 years, we're still not where we want to be or the vision that we have financially. So I don't know, expecting someone to already be there at a certain stage when we are like 30, 31.
Yeah. And life is a work in progress.
Yeah.
And it's the path and the journeys that we embark upon that we're able to have stories, we're able to have testimonies, and all those things kind of just build our path together and things for us to look back on. But if we're waiting to be at the final destination, what story are you really going to be able to tell with your partner? It's just like, yeah, we're both well off, we're both rich, and it is what it is.
Yeah, it definitely deepened our connection because we're building financially together, but also we've needed each other on the journey. Like, we wouldn't be where we are individually if we weren't together collectively. It wouldn't have been as successful. Like, I've contributed so much to his career success, he's done the same with me, the advice, the opinions. Two is actually better than one. So sometimes when we solely think about the salary that the guy's earning at that point in time, we're not thinking about the contribution that we could bring to their strategy, to their approach, to
it's
their...
that iron sharpens iron relationship. Like, by you being together, if wealth is your goal, it's better to do it with someone and then sharpen each other along the journey. You have the accountability, you have the team, the cheering on, etc. And you can be able to build more together than if you were by yourself.
Yeah, and actually our relationship just has so much more behind it because we've built together. So for us, like, the journey has been so important. If we'd both entered the relationship just at our destinations, we'd probably not understand the value of the other as much as we do now. But now I think our relationship's much more
Everyone loves a rags to riches story and the journey that you go on and building together. So it's kind of that same principle of really just building together.
Another reason looking at salaries might not be the best way to go about dating is because circumstances change over time.
Yeah, definitely. And what I've realized, and when looking at the gender pay gap reports, etc., a man and a woman start in the same company, same job, earn pretty much the same salary. But as time progresses, you see that divergence. And then they've basically said that the main reason for that, well, one of the primary reasons, is actually the divergence between mothers and fathers. When mothers apparently give birth, they tend to take up more flexible working arrangements and part-time jobs because their primary thing is to actually nurture their children and to look after their children. Whereas, having children doesn't affect men in the career in the same way. And also, there's also a psychological element. Like I mentioned, moms want to be more nurturing and look after their children. But the added responsibility in the household, men actually want to focus more on their jobs in order to provide more in the household. And then that's where you see the divergence of men are in more senior positions, etc. Because they've just stuck around longer and prioritize work, maybe not over their family, but prioritize it differently.
It's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. And to be honest, you see that, early on in the career, women are really good at pursuing what they need to pursue.
Yeah.
And, you know, you're seeing us come out from university with all these qualifications, pressing
because
hard.
women on average have higher degrees than men and technically are more qualified to secure like certain jobs. And then you see the divergence over time because of other factors.
Yeah, because circumstances change. You know, as a woman has her children and her priorities change, so does a man's priorities. If the woman's bringing less into the household, actually, that gives you a bit of motivation to start earning more, doing more, you know, providing more for the family. And those things don't happen until you do have children, which is, you know, later on in your life. So if you're in your early stage looking for someone to date and expecting those types of salaries at the early stage, it's very unrealistic.
And I also think that men are kind of late bloomers. I think men in the earlier days, because they have less responsibilities, are pursuing more of their passions. Like you have the men pursuing their football dreams, you have the men pursuing their career, acting job. But when reality hits and then more responsibilities come,
you have a wife, you have children,
they start focusing on the jobs in order to provide. So
and they start doing things that have nothing to do with their
passions,
hobbies and passions.
Yeah, I've got a friend. He was pursuing this football career. He knows who he is. Hello, friend. Who'll be watching this video. And now that he's in a relationship, happily married, that football job is gone. He's now in a corporate career, earning a good package. Now, what's he got? Good health care. Everything is in order. So relationships do actually shift your priorities. Yeah,
100%. So focusing purely on the income that they're on when you start and when you're meeting them. Again, another naive or shallow way of looking at relationships. And another reason finances shouldn't be considered in isolation when you're thinking about dating and who to date is because actually having two high flyers in a relationship and that relationship being successful is very, very challenging. Especially if you want to prioritize the family and all of that. It's going to be really hard with two people earning over 100k.
So let's just say 100k. Two people earning 100k, 150. Those type of jobs, more responsibility, more pressure. So if you're in a household where you're both kind of high flyers, then there'll be conflict because you're constantly just fighting among your schedules. You're constantly thinking about whose situation should you be prioritizing. Do you have enough time for children, etc. So it's important to consider whether it's worth it. Maybe if you are got a good salary, you might want to consider someone with a less salary or their job is less demanding so that you can prioritize the family. Like for us personally, it's great that Anna works from home. She earns a good salary, but she works from home. And that allows us to be a lot more flexible in our household. And also we have a very good family support network. So we've actually brought in people to come and support us. So unless you're able to have added support or working arrangements are very flexible, it is very difficult to actually navigate a schedule when two people are very busy in their careers.
And we've actually seen it, not just in the workplace, but also with our friends, where the woman is the high flyer and the guy is actually okay with that. That doesn't mean that they're not the provider in the household. That doesn't mean that they're not managing the finances
and not contributing
in different ways. Like we look at contribution very differently to how maybe a lot of people from our culture look at it. Like Gabes took 6 months paid paternity leave to actually look after our son. A lot of people might not do that, but for us it's about how is the household functioning. And actually if we're both high flying at exactly the same time and it's just the money that's coming in, but our children are suffering, our relationship is suffering, all of those types of things, it's not worth it. It's actually not worth it for us.
It's a potential for you to be a couple on paper, but in theory you're working as two individuals because your schedules just take you further apart. It's good that one person is maybe a bit ahead and one person's back so that they can support each other and vice versa. And sometimes it could be seasonal. I find that like sometimes we prioritize each other's career if we're willing to. Like sometimes Anna might be supporting me and I'll be supporting her, and we have different seasons. But it is very difficult to navigate a whole schedule, and it just creates more conflict.
We've had seasons where I've been earning more, seasons where Gabes has been earning more, but the contribution towards the household is still equal, if that makes sense. So I think like there's a lot of women, and I know I've got friends in that situation where they still very much respect their men as the providers, as their husband, despite them not earning more than them, because the contribution to the household is very substantial. They free you up to be able to do more in your career. Their wisdom is helping you navigate your career. There's just so many different factors factors outside of the actual monetary value that the person's bringing to the household. Because at the end of the day, it's about your household functioning and you guys being able to press together as one, which is the priority. And sometimes both of you being high earners doesn't enable you to do that, and actually it's better if one person takes a back seat, and that can be the man. Controversial statement, but it can be. And the final reason, but the most important reason why finances shouldn't be the only thing taken into consideration is because it is character over everything.
Why would you want to be with someone with X amount of money that treats you like rubbish, that doesn't respect you, that's not loyal, that's not honest? What's the point? Character is the most important commodity within the relationship.
There's no way that finances are getting you through a 70-year marriage, God willing. But the character of an individual will. Like how they handle situations, you know, what attributes they have that they bring to the table. Like these things are so much more important than the salary that someone earns. Because
like it's all exciting in the beginning, you get to go on all these fancy dates and go to all these nice countries, etc. But over time, when you're looking at each other in the face and 5 years have passed, like, who cares? Who cares how much they earn?
Like, you could be sitting at the most expensive restaurant staring into each other's eyes, but actually
hating your life.
Hating the person that's sitting in front of you because their character does not line up to the person that you want them to be. And to be honest, like, marriage is tough. Marriage is so hard, and there's so many circumstances and everything that will literally try to take you out. You know, even a person with good character is really tough to kind of make it work within the relationship.
And also for men, lead with your character, not your finances. You also don't want a woman to be there pursuing you because of your finances and the lifestyle that you give her, but actually lead with your character, because that will enable you to have an authentic relationship, not just one that is just transactional.
100%. So in conclusion, I really hope this video has brought to light some reasons why finances is not the only thing that should be looked at when it comes to a relationship. That's not to say that our men should not be pursuing more money, because that's what we want. We want, you know,
more
progress.
money, more problems.
Not necessarily, but we are saying that when it comes to dating, I don't think finances should be looked at in isolation. It shouldn't just be as black and white as, oh, he's not earning more than me, so I can't pursue him, or I shouldn't date him, because so much can change over time. There are other things that are much more important.
And the journey is the most important thing as well. Like the journey you go on with one another. If the person has potential, maybe they just need a strong person by their side to just keep pushing them to go further. That accountability, the encouragement, etc. And that will help. And then the story, and then you found basically a diamond in the rough. Someone that had $0 that now earning hundreds of, what was that? Was that
No, I'm joking. No.
Oh yeah, I was unemployed on
I always just hold on to that, like, you're unemployed.
Fantastic. It was for 2 months. It's an exciting journey to embark upon with someone. Building with someone tells a better story than just arriving at the destination.
So for us, we always talk about the scripture, two being better than one, because they can support each other. When one's down, the other can lift them up, and that is so key. I mean, you can't underestimate how far you can go with the right person by your side. So yes, their salary may start at one point, but actually with your help, guidance, advice, support, like, they could actually go so much further. So one, know your worth and know what you can bring to the table, but then two, also be with someone who's teachable, who's willing to learn, who has great character, who, you know, all of these things that are just so much more important than the tangible monetary value that they bring to the table at that given point in time.
Consider subscribing, consider commenting. We haven't said that in a while.
No.
But do the damn thing. Punch that like button, as they say. Crush it.
That was a long time ago, babe.
Punch it.
So, we hope that video was helpful, Deku fam, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!
Peace.
Bye!